Hello and welcome to Stampiphany, a great stamping idea, and welcome to my best guess series. This is where I take a project out of the catalog and give you my best guess and how it was made. This project that we're making today is the little gift cylinder. I used a sheet of our cotton paper. Sizes and all the supplies will be listed in the description below. And so I'm getting my stamp ready, and I'm just going to ink up one of the little donuts, and I'm just going to add that all over the sheet. When I was making this project, I learned that wrapping a cylinder is a little harder than it looks. I've been a demonstrator for 18 years, but I've decided to call this particular video the Amateur Minute. So I kind of fumble a little bit later, as you'll see, but I did have fun doing it. And I do think that if I had extra treats, or actually treats in the tube that I was using kind of to make up a, kind of stiffen up the bottom of there, it would have been easier to wrap it. But it was still fun to make, and I think you could still make a bunch of these if you wanted to. Another option is, if you're not adverse to cutting apart your stamps, you can cut these donuts apart really easily. And have them just be separate, and that probably would have made this a little easier, but sometimes I cut my stamps apart and sometimes I don't. Obviously in this case I chose not to. Now with this particular sheet, after I get all done, they don't dry very fast on this cotton paper, so you'll want to take your heat tool and gently dry it, and I emphasize the word gently, by the way. We don't want to start anything on fire, that could be bad. But either use your heat tool to dry it up, or just leave it overnight and it'll dry. But because this is kind of slick paper, it does just take a little bit to dry. So you can see the shininess there. So I'm going to go do that and come right back. Here's where it's dry. You see how it wrinkled just a little bit. And I just took a little paper cardboard tube. You could make one out of cardstock if you wanted to. Take a paper towel one and cut it down, whatever you want to do. And I'm using fast fuse because it sticks really well and stays really well with this. And I decided to go ahead, and I wanted it to wrap around more than once to cover up the color of that tube. And I'm just going carefully to make sure it stays even all the way through. And then I'll use the fast fuse a little bit to get that to seal. And this is kind of the funny part where I just kind of giggle, like trying to get that bottom. I had watched a video on how to wrap cylinders, and she just did such a great job, and I did not. But anyway, I think this is where, like I said, if there's something in the bottom there that could have been a counter pressure with me trying to fold it, but you can see me fumble around, and this is just proof enough that anybody can do this job, really. I mean, come on. Give it a try. It can't be that hard. So, but they are cute when they're all done. So you imagine you put your little treat down in there. I'm trying to even out the bottom with my paintbrush there, just to get it. And I think I finally just decided this is good enough and went with it. So, I'm still monkeying with that. That's just crazy. But anyway, once you get that all done, lots of little things will fit in there, little treats. I could see totally making these for a birthday party, for little treats for, coworkers or something, for, just a holiday, or just not a holiday, just because you want to be nice. I mean, who doesn't love someone who brings treats, right? So once you get that all done, I'm going to take my paper snips here, and I'm just going to cut little strips almost down to where the tube is. I think I did like 5 or 6, and then I'm going to pull them out a little bit to make it easier to shape them. I'm going to cut the little, you see that little tab part off? I'm going to just cut that off because you don't really need it. And there's an inner one that I cut off also because you don't really need it. And then I'm just going to shape them into almost like little leaves or spears, whatever you want to call it. I don't know that you really have to do this, but it kind of looked like they did in the catalog, and since this is my best guess, that's what I did. So, wasn't very hard. I still had this done fairly quickly. I think it takes longer to dry with the heat tool than it does to make this project. So yeah, I just shape it up, and then just a matter of, just tying things on. You could make a tag. I didn't see one in the catalog for this. But you could easily make a tag to go along with this as well. I just have to say, I love this color. Watermelon Wonder is just a pretty color. I just really, really like it. So, and I'm just going to twist them up just a little bit and tie them off with one of my favorite supplies, the white baker's twine. I'm just going to wrap it up a couple times. Again, I have tied things before, believe me. It doesn't look like it, but I have. But yeah, so I'm just going to tie that around. And I think it did work out better to just go one direction and then go the other. I think it stayed a little better when I did that, because I felt it was going to slip a little bit without doing that. But anyway, so just tie it off, make a little bow. And what I did was before I actually tied it in a bow, I pulled out some of our sequin trim, which I really love the sequin trim. It is so pretty. We have a couple different colors that you can choose from. This is the Bermuda color, I believe. Again, all supplies are listed below, and I think what I decided to do was, since it wasn't tied in a bow or really tied onto the package, I decided to just tie a knot around it just to hold it on. So you see me just lay that on there, and that's all I did. It was super easy, at least that part was, and just tie a bow, and then you're done. So this videos that I'm doing are a result of customers, asking me, how do you do this in the catalog and how do you do that in the catalog? So I thought, it might be useful for others to get to see how, what I thought maybe they did. There's probably some concept artists at the home office laughing right now, but that's okay. But it was still fun to go on this journey and just try to make stuff and be creative. I love being creative, and anyone who loves to stamp, it's always good to just sit down and be creative. So I hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day.